Welcome back everyone to Designing with Mark. It's been a whole year. It's hard to believe, really. When I stood here a year ago and introduced the idea of having an authentic, or as authentic as I can get, Japanese garden for our backyard. It's been a long time coming, and it's been in the planning phase in my head for several years, and last year we got started on it. Now last year, the focus was strictly on digging the koi pond and using the dirt from that dig to create the berms for the garden. And that took the entire summer. And this summer we've had a little different approach. We've done a lot of planting. We've added koi to the koi pond, which will be at the end of this video. And some things have changed. Even my plans have changed. We're going to walk through and have our very first walkthrough, and I want to preface this by saying this is a work in progress, so it's not a finished thing. It wasn't something that was a project you could get done in one summer. It wasn't going to happen. It's going to be several years, and I want it to be several years. So let's get started. Here we are, and we're going to start here, and we're going to do a sweep of the entire garden to start with. At first I was going to, because I know what I like on YouTube videos when I watch them. I'm very different than most people. Most people are ready to click on to the next video if it extends more than a minute and a half. I like when the plants are explained and identified. Not going to do that right now, but what I can do is promise that if I hear from viewers that they would like that, I can always do that afterwards. Today is just a sweep to see how things have developed over the course of about a year and a half now. So we're going to start in the corner. So we're going to adjust our focus here. If there's a plant that I can just name right off the top of my head, I will. The Japanese maples, I'll never remember their names. I'll have to have cue cards for that. But we're going to start in the corner. What I decided to do for the planting is intersperse conifers with Japanese maples. Basically, that's all of the planting in the entire Japanese garden. So we have the umbrella pine, and we have a blue spruce, Japanese maple, Shiraz, I believe. We did put in a pagoda. They weigh a ton. They're very heavy and very expensive. So we have like 2 of them in the garden right now. This is a larger one here. Looks great in the garden. If you follow me down here, we have a flamethrower Eastern redbud that last summer, its first summer in the garden, I thought we had lost it because it dropped every single leaf and the leaves blew everywhere in midsummer. It just got scorched. This year it's going crazy. I mean, crazy to the point where the branches are laying on the ground and crawling on the ground. So we're going to definitely have some pruning to do. Probably, I think, maybe next spring. I'm not a big fall pruner, but we'll make that decision later on. Okay, back to the garden. Looking down, we have 2 really dwarf conifers. One is a golden yew. I love it. Stone, and then an icebreaker. Last year, one of our icebreakers, we didn't realize at the time, we purchased a full-size one, which didn't make it through the winter. This one's really dwarf version. Japanese maple, autumn moon, I think. I'm not positive. This one is a form of a cryptomeria, I believe. And Tamukiyama, Japanese maple, one of the weeping ones. And it weeps over where our goal is that these can get really kind of big. So eventually maybe the whole top of the overflow for the pond filter will be covered. This black thing will be covered over. We have a couple of azaleas, one on either side of the waterfall. And I want to talk about one thing before we move over to the other side. And that's a dilemma that we're having this year is, what are we going to put down on the ground? And at first, my mind was we were going to mulch. It turns out Japanese gardens are not mulch, and I'm trying to be as authentic as I can. So ideally, it would be great if, Andy, if you could follow me. It's kind of hard to see, but we're gradually getting moss growing in the garden. That's my ideal, and I've had a neighbor who is giving us some moss from his yard. It's slow growing. Nobody sells moss as far as I know, but that would be my ideal, because we do have, you're going to see it on the other side, some Japanese grass, but if you have too much of that around, it's just going to encourage rodents. So we don't, and we've had that issue before, so we're not going in that direction. Now I'm going to stop here and we'll readjust, and we're going to look at our Japanese hollies. Okay, now we've turned ourselves back around. We're facing the gate now. And I want to just quickly show you these Japanese hollies, which was almost an afterthought when I first designed the garden. But they're right in front of our porch door, which there's nothing wrong with the porch door. But there's a mini split behind these right now, and our Vigo hose holder that aren't the prettiest things. And also the whole idea with a Japanese garden is this idea of mystery around the corner, and that you come upon something that's unexpected. So I kind of want these, there's 8 of them. And believe it or not, I think they were down to here last summer and really skinny. And now they're getting fatter, and they're getting almost, well, to here on me. I decided I was going to do like a chop. I think I'm going to wait till next year. And then let's see how, because some of them are, as you can see, are growing quite round-ish. I'm hoping to fill in the spaces between each of them, and that this will become a hedge that's about as tall as me. 6 feet tall, hopefully. And there's 8 of them, and they go all the way down to here. Right now, we take cut-throughs to get to the porch door. I don't know. I might decide to put some kind of an entrance here or not. To me, it's fine without doing that. But technically, you're supposed to follow the path all the way around and come through here to get to the stairs. And this is an easy access to the gate, which exits to the front garden. So I'll cut through and we'll move on. Now you can see me up on our very first circular berm right in front of, there's 2 circular berms right directly adjacent to the koi pond. The elevation is almost, I would say, from the gravel up to the peak, it's probably close to 20 inches at least. And again, it's just, I didn't want it to look too affected, too planned out, but it is what it is at this point. We have made some changes. I pulled some things out that didn't look great next to each other or weren't filling the space properly. But this one, as a matter of fact, is a recent addition, this Thunderhead Black Pine, which is probably my most favorite conifer, and it's at least of the Japanese conifers. And what I'm planning on doing on this one is to prune it with clouds, if you've seen those done before. This year, I think I'm just going to let it grow out, let it get established. We had originally one of those drooping or columnar spruce that would go up to a certain height and then spill over. But it got, at the base, it wasn't girdled, but it did get eaten by the rabbits. Alrighty, now, just talked about a thunderhead pine, black Japanese black pine, also a Japanese black pine, a dwarf, will not probably get much bigger than this, but a totally different shape to it. Dwarf spruce, golden spruce, firefly, I believe might be the name. Another Japanese maple. I'm going to have Andy come around on this side over here. Another Japanese maple called Shana, really pretty color. We have a dwarf conifer, Tom Thumb, I believe is the name. It almost looks like a globe arborvitae, but a tiny one. Here's another dwarf pine. This is a white pine, really soft needles. Has a great shape to it. Another Japanese maple, I'm not sure the name. I think it's like Orange Dream, I believe, something like that. And that one that looks just like fingers sticking up as another cryptomeria. That completes this first berm. And we're now going to walk over to the pond and the sitting area. Right now you're looking at our new sitting area in the Japanese garden. This was something that was completely unplanned. I'll have a seat. Thank you very much. Right now I'm framed by two rather large yews, or it might be a cedar trees, that provide wonderful shade in the hot summer sun, and allows me to have a great view of our koi pond. And it's enough for seating for two. So it's basically planted with a hydrangea, hostas, steel bees, azaleas, and some monkey grass behind, right directly behind me. It looks a little bit planned. I wanted it to look a little bit more natural, so that may change as we speak. But for now, it's a wonderful place to sit and view the garden from a variety of perspectives, but ideally the pond. So we're going to turn this around because I want to talk about the area that was all rock and rubble last year this time. So here I am standing right on the edge of our beautiful koi pond, and I must say it is really nice. Neighbors that have gone by have commented on it, and relatives have come over to see it. It truly is quite a beautiful thing to watch. And now we have 11 or 12 rather large, they've grown, Japanese koi that are absolutely beautiful. Got some changes coming though, maybe for next year. Before I talk about that, I just want to point out another Japanese maple, Viridis, similar to the Tamukiyama, that will hopefully spill over. This gets quite large as well, and will spill right over the edge of the pond to soften some of the hard edges. This one is another Shiraz. The very first one that we started back over at the gate. We love the color so much. It's this beautiful, Andy is a little bit far away, but we'll do close-ups at another time. But it's pink. It's about as pink as you can get for a tree. Our other Japanese pagoda, the little one here, and this area here last year was rubble heaven. It was just filled with stone and weeds and so forth. I've managed to kind of keep it cleared out. There's a few stones left over in case we need them. This was going to be the area, and it still might be, for a true miniature Japanese tea house. I'm not sure. I'm rethinking that idea, because the more that we've got into the koi, the more we've enjoyed that. And if you ask anyone who has started out with a koi pond, they always want it a little bit bigger. So what might happen, my idea, is to enlarge this pond so that it goes up and around like a kind of like a double kidney shape. So it's going to be like that. This area will stay and so forth, but and which in one other way will change another plan, which is the original idea that I had for the Japanese bridge. It was going to go right here, right across these stones in the path. I don't know. I'm thinking now maybe it might be better if there's water here, that there's a bridge that actually crosses over water. So and actually it might be a smaller bridge rather than this one being about 12 feet long. This might be more like 8. So that's in the planning, because these koi from Japan are significantly larger. So, and our current pond is about 1900 gallons, I believe, something to that effect. Okay, now I'm going to turn around and we're going to hit the last circular berm and just kind of give you an idea of the other end of, which has now become the entrance to, the actual entrance to the Japanese garden. So how do you like it? This is the big surprise, a very unexpected surprise. I was hoping that we were going to be able to put up the Torii gate this summer, but with all the planting and all the purchasing of the plants that we had to do prior to this, we didn't think it was going to happen. But thanks to my sister and her help a little bit, we were able to get this thing up. And we sent away for it in California. It came on a huge flatbed wood, and as a kit, a very heavy kit, nearly 300 pounds. So I almost was going to film me putting it up, but that would have been a comedy of errors, because I had to lift the entire thing myself, believe it or not. And this was a heavy thing. And it is now buried into the ground about 20 inches, but in the midst of getting this all up, and I was literally like this, holding it, the skies broke open and torrential rain for the next hour. And I literally stood like this for an hour until the rain stopped. And the holes that the posts were in, 20 inches deep, filled up with rain in about a minute and a half. But they're here, it's standing, it's solid, and it looks fantastic, I think. So this is the new entrance to the Japanese garden. And the color, vermilion, that is another story unto itself, just to get this color, paint color. We managed to get it at Home Depot, believe it or not, matched as close to vermilion as possible. So this is the entrance, and as you can see, we have stepping stones and gravel. So last year, I think I was able to get most of the gravel in, and a few of the stepping stones. And Andy, you can stay right where you are. We got about as far, I don't know how far you can get me, down to this circular berm down here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 8 or 9 stepping stones. And these are an important part to a Japanese garden because it forces you to kind of walk contemplatively, slowly, watching your steps so that you don't trip either. And if you look around me, in another minute, we're going to turn the camera around and show you what the big change was this summer, because this was a whole area of about 20 rhododendrons that had been planted over the last 15 years or so, that are all gone and have been replaced with conifers and Japanese maples. Well, here I am up on the hill. This is the part of the yard that kind of goes up on an incline, quite an incline. So from the very top up over here down to the bottom is probably an elevation maybe of 6 feet. And right along the front here, all the way down actually to even with the koi pond was all rhododendrons, kind of that standard big box store rhododendrons, the purple ones that aren't the prettiest of all. And many of them got killed over the last winter. So we decided to take them all out and replace them with a mix of conifer and Japanese maple. So we have a Japanese maple, a larger one. They're still dwarf, and we're going to keep them small if we can. And conifers, this is another one of you're going to see this variety on the middle berm that we haven't gone over yet. A variety of conifers. This is a Japanese red pine, which I love. I love the shape of it. Oh, I want to point this out too. I don't know if Andy can get a shot of it, but this, I don't want to bend over, I'll fall. This grass-like plant is called black mondo grass, which is an authentic grass that you can use in Japanese gardens. Hard to find, really, really difficult to find. But the hardest part of this whole process up here is dealing with about 4 summers ago, we took down a whole row of maples that were taller than our house, and which opened up all this light. We wouldn't have been able to plant any of the conifers without those down. But the roots are still all through this. So I have been spending the entire summer with my reciprocating saw with a pruning blade, cutting roots that are long, 8 feet long and are about this wide or thick, just to get allow for some room for these new roots to really grow. So some really interesting and favorite Japanese maples here. I don't want to get into too much. This is a Ryusin one that droops right over. It gets to a certain height and then it just droops right down. It's really unusual. This one's going crazy with these chartreuse leaves. We found that a lot of the Japanese maple, for some reason, about in August, end of August, they all started to do this. They all started to kind of sprout out. And this gives you an idea of some of the color. But the actual fall color has not come out yet. Okay, I'm going to stop here so we can turn around the camera and catch the last area right by the back step. Okay, we're at a very difficult area here to plant. all the years that I've been here, this is right by our back porch. And it's kind of a odd shaped little garden. And I've usually relegated it to impatiens for the summer and then just snow for the winter. But we decided to put this filigree Japanese maple, which fit almost the entire space, the span of it. And it stays really low and really feathery, very, very pretty. And we surrounded that particular one with carex grass. Carex is how I believe is how you pronounce it. A variegated variety, 3 different types. This one here, where my foot is, that's different than this one here, and those 4 over there, the white frost. Alrighty, I'm going to enter our new Japanese garden and then take you down towards the last berm. Well, before I head down our new path, I want to just point out these 2 pieces of granite. They were originally over in front of the path to the garage. These came out of the backyard. I dug them out of our own backyard about 20 years ago. And they're big hunks. I don't know what they were for, but I thought they were nice little sentries before you actually enter the gravel path. So I'm going to head down here. Oh, I just want to point out this Japanese maple is really unusual because it has that sort of very bonsai-like stem. It's got almost like an S twist to it. I don't know the name of it. It's got a very unusual name to it, and rather rare, I think, as well. Okay, this berm that you're looking at right now is the one berm in the entire garden that's almost completely in shade. And the central maple, Japanese maple, full moon, requires that deep shade, or otherwise it just crisps right up, which it was new to the garden last year, and that's what we're finding out a lot about these Japanese maples are, until they get used to the environment, any kind of sun seems to kind of crisp them a little bit. And we were able to put hostas in this garden without going crisp. So we have 3 different hostas. And this is the only fern, I don't know if Andy can get it, with these sort of brown fronds that survived our winter this past year. We planted about 3 of them. Only 1 survived. And even the painted ferns over there, I'll go over on the other side, have had a hard time this summer. They're even in the shade, they're kind of crisp a little bit on some of the fronds. Here's some echinochlora grass, that Japanese echinochlora grass. We put 2 at the base of the garden bench. They've not done as well as this one's done the best. And it's about to, I guess they call this the flower part. And this particular Japanese maple likes about half and half of shade and a little bit of sun. Which takes us to our last berm. And last but not least is this central berm, which when you're, and maybe if I can convince Andy to take one final shot from the farthest point right by the garage and right through the Torii gate and be able to see this is quite a shot. We have a spreading spruce, I believe, a blue spruce in the middle, a very unusual Japanese maple. The leaves are kind of layered upon each other. The name of it's eluding me at the moment. Another Japanese maple here. I don't think you're going to be able to see. There's a small cryptomeria on the other side. Another Japanese maple, and another white pine over there called Penguin, which is right in front of the pond. So until next time, I don't know when it'll be. We're at this point, we're just maintaining. At this time of the year, we're about to go into fall. So it's about thinking about pruning, possibly, and then getting these ready for winter, because we're a little bit concerned about rabbits and the damage that they've done over the winter. And I'll say goodbye for now.